Hey, how are you? What's your name?
Good. My name is Nikhil.
Nikhil, nice to meet you. Hi, how are you?
I'm Rohini.
Hi, nice to meet you. You live around here?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, just up the road.
I used to live right on Belsize Park Gardens, right up the way.
Oh,
So
great.
I used to come out here all the time with my kids.
So I'm an undecided voter, so my vote is up for grabs.
Okay,
and
good.
I read your manifesto.
Oh, you did? Okay,
It's good. It's quite detailed.
Thank you.
Um,
I spent 8 months on it. I really did.
Okay, I won't take much of your time. I just have one question. So
Please.
a lot of impressive schemes.
Yes.
Could you give me a summary of how do you plan to pay for all of this, or like how will you raise revenue for the additional expenditure that all of this will require?
So that's a great question. So I come from 30 years in the business world. I've never considered politics before, never even crossed my mind until about 9 months ago. So everything I see is through the lens of business. I worked in automotive and aerospace. I worked in the city of London for a while. I've been in digital media for the last 10 years. So I have a big YouTube channel and a lot of views, and people watch me interview people. That's usually what I do. So when I look at all the problems of this city, I started looking at it through a business lens. So first of all, how can we get London back to business? So for the last year, we didn't see anybody trying to create innovations to get London back to business. When London's working, it solves a lot of our problems, right? NHS has enough money, TfL has enough money, people's mental health is good. So we forget London was built on business. I always say the Romans didn't come here for the view, they came here for business, right? So we need a mayor who's proactive about business. I don't think dates where you can open up is a way to actually start business. So one of the big things I want to do is something called the Great Celebration. August, 31 days of street festivals and fairs, and show the world that we're back for business. I want to cut the congestion charge till the end of the year so as many people can come to London and start spending, and I want to drop business rates down to zero. Now, look at some of my other policies, like making the streets safe. 10,000 more police officers on the street costs money, right? TfL's running into bankruptcy right now. Where's the money? So I see in TfL a whole lot of money. So my example is Canary Wharf. If you've ever been on Canary Wharf right now, there's like these big banks, got these big real estate developments, all enabled because of the Jubilee extension. That's why all those buildings are there, because you can get from Bond Street to there in 14 minutes or something. But no one's paying for that. So all these developers are making a lot of money. I'm asking for a 3% infrastructure levy that get kicked back to the city for police and for the TfL that comes from those developers. You know, Crossrail, we've all heard of Crossrail, right? That's expected to increase the business around those stops by 25 billion pounds is what that's expected. So 3% of that is 1 billion pounds per year. That's quite a lot of money to pay for the police and to pay for the transport system. So again, everything I look at is through that lens of business. I see a lot of revenue. Also, TfL has 5,700 acres of land. It's the size of the borough of Camden that we're in. We could separate that and put affordable housing, which you saw there, on there. Also commercial development, retail development. There's a lot of money there. But the current mayor, he just says, we'll increase your fares or increase congestion charge, or we'll ask Boris for a bailout. I mean, London runs at a profit, but the government's going bankrupt. Just doesn't make sense. So I see ways we can ask. And I spoke to some of the developers and I said 3% infrastructure levy. They're not too happy about that, but they do know it's a reality, because right now what they do is they wait for the new tube extensions and then they buy all the land and they develop it. Doesn't sound very fair to me. So if you're within 500 meters of a tube stop, you pay a 3% infrastructure levy, which just means if your property goes up more than the average of London, you pay a small percentage back. That's enough money to run TfL to profit so we can drop the congestion charge and we can pay for the police on the streets. Last thing I want to do is get corporations to directly fund our community centers, because these kids don't have many options, right? You heard about the knife crime, it's ridiculous. So more police will help, but we got to give these kids something better to do. So we've got to teach them entrepreneurship, mentorship, apprenticeships. But the current mayor shut down, I think, over 100 youth centers because there was no money. I'm going to call up the CEOs of Uber, Amazon, HSBC, and Barclays and say, guess what? It's a win-win situation. You can provide money for these community centers. It's a great branding situation, and you can give back to the communities you're making all of your money for. This has already been done with a young man by the name of Jamal Edwards. He's a kid from Acton who started this big hip hop and grime television channel called SBTV, or YouTube channel. And I'm working with him. He's in the Manifesto as well. He's already raised 100,000 from Google, 100,000 from the Wellcome Trust, and we're going to raise 100 million a year from these corporates and get it right into community centers, so these kids have something to do besides go into gangs, which right now looks like an option. So again, everything is through this lens of business, and I think if we run it like a business and think of it like a business, and then also hold people accountable. You know, in the business world, if you don't do it right, like, you get eliminated, you go bankrupt. When the mayor doesn't get it right, he increases our taxes, it's Boris's fault, and it's billions of pounds in bailouts, which we pay for anyways. So I see a lot of solutions, but I also see them never doing these things because they don't have to. because one of them will get your vote every 4 or 5 years, and that's what I think is a problem with this two-party system. There's also so much baggage with the two-party system. Like, I don't have anybody telling me what to do. I don't have a party to check with. I don't have corporate donors to check with. I'm just putting the best ideas out there. So that's what that manifesto is, just the best solutions for London. And again, I love this city. I'm a Londoner. I've been here 21 years. I've been a citizen for 14 years. My kids were born here. I'm being buried here. I know that sounds weird. I'm looking for the right graveyard. So it's just my chance to give something back. So,
That makes a lot of sense.
I hope
We're
so.
really impressed with one Manifesto.
Okay.
So we just came by to
Thank you.
check that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We put a lot of time into it. And again, even if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, hopefully it's not my bus. But I think the manifesto it's a blueprint anybody can move forward and use as we go forward. So I'm really proud of it. It's been a crazy journey. It's been difficult, but it's something we've been really proud of. So great. Yeah. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Brian.
All right. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
All right. Thanks so much. Hi. How are you?